And another guy who can't hurt us. You gotta love Sector 1 once you get that second shield going. So it's the same deal as before. We're going to take out his shields with the heavy pierce. And then we're going to take out his cockpit with the chain. Then we're going to really pierce his shields up and then take out his engines, and then he's never going to get away. $25 scrap works for me. Okay, now we're going to go down to this quest where we are, I believe, delivering stuff from somebody who is incompetent. And I decided to go for this in case it's a trap. We just get a little bit more dodge, although I could always take the oxygen down to get more dodge. And they want us to go in search of the original stuff as a reward, and we're like, you know what? We're going to be nice, and we're gonna go and try to do that. You can get bonus stuff if you keep it for yourself, but a lot of times you don't get that chance either anyway, so... Nothing there, so let's go ahead and get out of this sector and move on to the next one. Let's see, we need fuel, so we might as well buy 6 of them. That's a pretty good deal, and I mean, it's the same price, although I think in Sector 3 the price of it goes up. Zoltans, we're not really scared of Zoltans, but the NG thing, I decided to go to the NG sector because I wanted to try that virus event. I wanted to see what the virus event would be like if I attacked him instead of trying to talk him down, because that's what killed me that first time, and I was just curious about it. I definitely want to hit that quest, but I figure I'd go a little bit north here in the sector and see what's going on. I decided to pry the ships apart, even though I know that this is like NG sex or whatever. But I decided to try to pry the ships apart just so I could get the fight and hopefully get the rewards from the fight. And you know what? I can't heavy pierce them because they have 2 shields. So I decide to try something, and it works. I fire my chain laser so it takes down 1 shield, and then the heavy pierce goes in, and it snuck through the shield to actually take their shields down. Then I can heavy pierce again, and now the chain laser is ready to go and just take their weapons out. So that's pretty sweet. And because, of course, we're fighting NG, we have to keep up the assault on their shields. But then apparently they had a fire in their weapons because right after we did 2 damage to them, they exploded from the last damage, which was pretty sweet. But we got nothing for it. We got no scrap, we got no nothing, so that was kind of a wasted little thing there. I wish I had known that would have happened. I wouldn't have attacked them. I start counting here. I need 9 total jumps. I think that was counted out to 6 or 7. So I know I have a little bit of leeway time, and I realize I can waste time at the end here. So I figure I'm going to waste 1 jump beforehand. Or no, I guess I decided not to waste 1 jump beforehand. And because I did that, there's a freaking star here, and somebody can do 3 shots. So this is really scary. And I have to wait for the chain laser to be ready because the heavy pierce won't do anything. And I realize that we're going to be here right about the same. That was pretty good. 3 misses there. I wait for the ion pulse to actually start, and then I go. I fire everything at weapons. That's right, because I know their shields are going to be down. And boom, we've basically won this fight. And I had to fire after the pulse started, but before it hit my ship, because it might have taken my weapons down, which would have left me in a terrible position with weapons and shields down. Instead, he has weapons and shields down, so we don't take his surrender, and we destroy him as a ship. Then I have to wait. I have to take my shields down. Get 32 scrap for that. That's pretty good. I took my shields down so that they don't get ioned as much, so that we can just wait for the ion to kind of spread out throughout the ship. And I know the way ion storms work. If you only have 1, you're good to go. So we move on. Oh, we got a store and a distress call and that quest. So I start counting, and I'm like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is perfect. So we're going to go there, then we're going to go to the store and hopefully buy a weapon, because I'm realizing the heavy pierce doesn't really work for me. So, hey, search among the stores, and of course, in this chance, we get a store. And we get a Burst Laser Mark II, which I basically say, yeah, it's time. It is time to buy the Burst Laser Mark II. I hold on to the battery charger, even though it's not actually helping us right now. If we do get a battery, it could come in super handy later. There's nothing else I really want. I mean, there's that battery, but I don't need it right now. We don't really need fuel, but I figure, you know what, why not get up to 15? We're not going to be able to buy anything at that other store anyway. We can just get the Burst Laser Mark II up right away. This store is pretty much a wash, sadly. There's absolutely no way we can buy anything from here, and they have a flak, which I would have much rather had than the burst laser, because we can fire the flak first, and it can get through, and then the chain laser is going to be ready to go to go through there, and then the flak's just going to be awesome. The way the burst laser works is you end up having to wait for the burst laser sometimes with the chain laser. I decided option 2 there. I always destroy them. This guy only has 1 shield. So I actually could have used the thing on him, but I can't. He has a missile, which is very nasty, and he also has a drone. And I'm really mad that the drone's going into my weapons because this is going to cause some major issues. I can't open my doors to keep air in that room. So even turning the oxygen up wouldn't have helped majorly. Luckily, the first missile misses, which is sweet. I have to wait a very painfully long time to fire everything, and I decided to fire the burst laser 2 at his weapons, and then the chain at his drones, so that A, we don't have to worry about the weapons, and B, we don't have to worry about the drone. Then we send these guys down because we have to fix that hole in the floor as fast as possible, and he gets his missile back up like fast, and I am not too happy about that. And now I don't take his missile down, which is critically important here, because we got somebody really hurt heading up to the med bay here. And luckily, it doesn't hit the med bay, but it does hit my weapons, and it takes Alex Aron way down. Luckily, we got the hole in the floor fixed. I think you might have died. You might have choked out if if we hadn't hit that. Of course, the burst laser is down, but the chain laser, because I was smart, is still up, and we're able to take out his weapon there. And then the frickin' drone goes into the oxygen supply, which is nasty. Why would you go in our oxygen supply when we don't have door control? We don't have any way to stop you, and you have an NG who apparently is super NG fixing your weapons, and we finally got our weapons back up. So now we have to take our oxygen down. Let's see, I'm trying to decide what to do because all my guys are hurt because they had to fix the floor in that airless room. I don't know what I end up doing here. Let's find out. I guess we're gonna send somebody up to somewhere, and I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably have my burst laser back on. So I turn off my med bay to turn the burst laser on. That's how important that is. And now he takes out my oxygen room with the drone in it, which is sweet. And then his freaking drone comes into my piloting room. This is like the worst battle you could have. Like, everything is going bad. And we take his missile down, but he fires another one. We kill him. And thankfully the missile misses, which is awesome. That was just, yeah, that was a nasty, nasty battle. So I, of course, have to fix everybody up, which is annoying. And then I have to send the guys who are fixed down to the oxygen room so that they can fix that. And then, of course, they're going to have to come back up and get fixed themselves back up in the med bay, which, again, is annoying. I decide to fix the floor first. And one level of the oxygen with those two guys. And then as soon as they got the oxygen back up, I got them out, and they got out. And as soon as oxygen got in that room, as soon as I realized that and turned the oxygen on in that room, as soon as the room has oxygen in it, I send, was that Laggard down there to actually fix the thing. And my ship is a nice shade of pink, but we're fine. Whew. For those of you who care, we have about 6 minutes, 6.5 or take, until we get to the good commentary where I'm actually commentating on what is happening as opposed to trying to remember what happened. Okay, heading to that quest. Let's go ahead and take this little jump here to get to that quest. And, oh, it's somebody who wants to fight us. And his laser gun can't get through our shields. His bomb can. And, again, he's got a drone. Luckily, this time it's just an ion drone. But those are annoying just as well. Especially with Rockbin. And I realize, you know what? With Rockbin, I don't want to fight that drone in the room that's going to not have air in it. So I predict that the drone's going to go into the oxygen room. But the problem is he's going to fire that bomb, and he's going to get an automatic hit because there's nobody in the piloting room. So I fire everything at his weapons. Well, I'm sorry, I fire at his shields at his weapons, and I do a pretty good job. I take his weapons completely down, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. And his shields are down, so I actually don't care about whether or not my shields are up, because his weapons are down. But I still want that drone to die, because I hate drones. I hate... Oh, and then I noticed his shields blew up, so they were on fire, so sadly that was a wasted shot. They want to surrender for 14 scrap. I'm like, yeah, not going to happen. But now, again, we have to fix a hole in the floor. Which, as always, is annoying. I decided to go with the guys who are already hurt, because they're going to have to heal up anyway, so why not, right? So I then send me and Aaron to the med bay and heal us up. Good times. We have 3.5 minutes before we're at the real commentation here. Yeah, I am mad at myself for not recording the audio. It's also paying me because it's adding 20 minutes to my would-be playing, you know, something new instead of watching myself play the old stuff. But what are you going to do? Okay, quest time. Let's see what we're going to get. I decided to give myself one more engine power, just in case this is a trap and it's nasty. I can get a little bit more dodge. A little bit more dodge never hurts. And definitely a free anti-ship beam drone doesn't hurt, even if it's just to sell it. I realized I can go to either one of those 2 stars, so I just picked that one at random. Didn't really matter because there was no choice for my second jump. You know we're not going to pay a toll, even facing 4 laser shots. They say we're going to regret this decision. I hope we don't. That would kind of suck if we ended up regretting the decision. But let's get some major dodge here. All we need to do is dodge one of these shots, and of course we don't. And he removes our ability to dodge at all, which is super annoying. We finally got his shield down now. So firing the burst laser right away would be a bad choice. So we're just going to wait a second here and get the chain laser. Now we're not going to get any dodge on these, so we're guaranteed to get hit by one of them. And look at where it hit us. Perfect spot in the weapons. Luckily, though, we got our shots off and we took down his burst laser. So he is far less dangerous now than he was a second ago. I decided not to send another rock band down because by the time he got there, Laggard would have fixed the weapons anyway. So we get our burst laser back up. Sadly, the chain laser is completely useless. I mean, it is spooled up, which is nice. But still, we have to wait the entire charge of the burst laser before we fire the chain laser. If I had thought I could have fired the chain laser right away and gotten one more charge in it. Very nice dodging there, guys. Me and I think it was Voltion is in the thing. So I decided to go full bore on his weapons to take out all of his weapons because I'm getting sick of him having those weapons and the ability to do that. Again, sadly, I have to wait for the burst laser to fully charge up before I fire the chain. This combo doesn't work as well as I hoped it had, mostly because I keep having to shoot at weapons first. If I could concentrate on shields first, if I had some way to avoid that first volley, like a cloak or something, this would be a lot more powerful because I could fire those things at his shields and not at his thing. So here I decide I actually sent Laggard down to the cockpit just so I could see what the next jump was. And then I could decide if I wanted to save my money or buy a power. And obviously I decided to buy a power. My only thought, I believe, was whether or not I would see a store. So we go here, and we're about to pause the game here in about 30 seconds or so, 40 seconds. And the good news, there's a store there that I can't go to. The good news is that means I will be back soon. So we got refugees here, and they've got a glaive beam, which is pretty freaking crazy when it comes down to it. So I realize I don't need to wait for the chain laser, but I do anyway because we know the glaive's going to take forever to charge up. And I don't kill it, but I do take down the ion beam. And now the question is, am I going to get my stuff up or is it? And guess what? That's where we're back to live. Okay, so is his beam going to go before we can fire? I believe the answer is going to be yes. So he's going to do 3 or 4 damage to us, which is going to suck. I'm just going to put my weapons on here and hopefully get the burst laser to go. Yes. Okay, we took that thing down. We took a couple damage. Not a huge deal. You go fix that, because the only thing that can happen to you is that you will... there we go. Now, I'm only going to shoot if the glaive beam comes back up. And I'm only going to shoot the chain laser. And the reason is I want to choke these guys out. Because you get more if the crew dies. Also, a level, what is this, Sector 3, I believe? Yeah, Sector 3 glaive beam is cheap and cheesy. So I want to punish them for, for having it. It's all about the chain laser. Oh, wow. Okay. Sadly. There we go. Eventually they're going to run out of air, and eventually this guy's going to die. But I can only do 1 more damage to him. Like, if I do 2 damage to him, and their air's not out yet, so I don't think we have a chance. So let's just go ahead and kill him. Sadly. Contact the refugees. They give us extra. Sweet. We have 140 scrap that we are taking to the next sector and hopefully finding a store, even though slug nebulas tend to not have too many stores right on the beginning spot here. And they don't. So what do we need? We could use... Really, the 3rd shield is kind of where we're at right now. I don't usually buy a 3rd shield this early in the game. I think I'm going to buy the buffer zone for the shield, and then we'll see how things go. We'll buy the 3rd shield 1 piece at a time, as it were. Let us decline. And there's a store. We wanted to go to a store. Let's go to an actual store instead of trying to turn that guy into a store. Let's see. Zoltan shield bypass, long-range scanners. Pretty much awesome. We could get a halberd beam, a hull laser 2, a charge laser. These are all power 3 weapons. I would have to upgrade weapons by 1 and drop something I'm using. This laser charger kind of meshes well with the chain laser, because the first 3 will charge up in 15 seconds, and then we can get 5 shots off. So that's still the same as the Burst Laser Mark II. But then the second time the chain is ready, this guy will have 2 on him. And then after the second volley, their shields should be down, and then we can just fire this thing 1 at a time. The halberd beam is always awesome. However, it doesn't... Well, actually, it does mesh with it quite well. By the time the chain laser's bolts get to the ship, we're halberding them. And then this guy, it comes in a little bit early. I like the charge laser better. Out of the 3 options, I think I like the charge laser better. I would like to keep the burst laser though. So I'm going to sell this. I'm going to keep the battery charger for now. We're going to buy this, and then we're going to see what it's going to cost. 50 to upgrade. So we're just going to upgrade. We're going to drop the burst laser and bring on the charge laser. And the problem is now neither one of these do I want to get hit. But I think I'm going to keep the chain laser as the one that I don't want to get hit. And we need 1 more power eventually. Is there anything else at this store that we're going to lament not buying? Long-range scanners. If I sell this battery charger, we can't buy long-range scanners, so I'm going to keep the battery charger on the assumption that we're going to get a battery and be able to use it. Although if I sell it now, I can buy that power. Power is 25 right now. Yeah, we're going to sell it and buy the power. That way we're running at full power. Okay, let's head out into the sector and see what we got here. Let's see how this charge and chain works together. They fire everything they have. Okay, they've got a lot of stuff, but that's okay. So do we. Yeah, we're going to just get this on the weapons. I think we're going to go for their weapons first. Come on, dodge one of those. Of course you didn't. At least it's not on fire. Okay. We did 1 damage, which is kind of annoying because we still want to take that weapon down. So we're going to wait here. We just can't do a thing. Okay, we should be at the point now where we can fire these 2 shots. Ouch! Now that's a fire. So we're going to turn the oxygen off and just let the fire happen. We cannot seem to... Yeah, I need... These guys aren't meshing as well as I was hoping they would. And he seems to have 80,000 power. If I had concentrated on his shields first, I'd be in a lot better shape.